Come. Don't linger in the darkness. I've made a fire, much like the one that warmed the investigators, as the Metatron explained to them his instructions. He intended to send them to a realm through which he himself could not venture. They were being sent on a deadline to kill Wendigos.
We're going there for 8 hours, and what exactly are we doing?
You have to kill the souls of the Wendigos that are here.
So if we're right, and those 2 women and that infant are Wendigos, we're gonna have to kill them.
You understand the nature of your task. Now, it's important to remember, while you can summon things to yourself in the astral plane, you must destroy their souls with your hands, because anything that you summon will be of that plane and incapable of doing the job.
Once the drowning ritual was performed, the 4 investigators woke up in the new realm, accompanied by what appeared to be Dorothy's deceased husband, Alfred. He explained to them the rules of the realm.
I'm supposed to lead you, I think.
What kind of lair was that?
Ithaca is the queen of the Wendigos. See, there's a problem back on Earth because someone apparently freed her skull. Now, well, folk can not just get trapped here, but they can switch places, so to speak.
Switch places in this, in-between realm.
Between our world and this one. But there's also a second way that you can get here. Sometimes folk, they commit crimes so bad against, God or nature or whatever you want to call it. They just immediately end up here. And there's a shell left.
They learned that, seen as it was a sort of dreamlike realm, they could manipulate the world around them to their imagination's desire.
Where'd you get this livestock from, by the way?
You don't need to get it. That's the point here, Dark. You are in control of your destiny here. And you'll watch as a tripod and a machine gun, like a belt-fed machine gun, appears on top of it. And he'll walk up, he'll get onto the back of it, and he'll just fire some rounds, and everybody else will hear this loud gunfire just going off into the trees, and he'll do it for a little while, and then he'll snap his fingers and it will disappear.
Alfred explained that the nuns were in the realm because of their dark deeds, and that he would reluctantly show the nuns to the group.
There ain't no pearly gates or nothing like that. It's just a scale. You get weighed and find out if you're good or bad, and if you're good, you get a choice. And if you're bad, well, you don't so much get one. But I got a choice. That's why I'm here. And those nuns, they did not get no choice. That's for sure.
I actually was kind of thinking that they might make the best bait.
I think, I should show you the nuns before we get to talking about bait too much. It's not something I would wish upon my worst enemy.
Finally,
eventually Alfred sort of like pulls everything up to a halt. He holds up one hand, and you all stop your dogs and you realize the tracks have just ended. Elliot ran out, a couple of miles into the woods and then completely vanished.
As our story nears its end, we return once again to the Devil's Antlers.
Elliot, you're soaring through the air, and you can see that there's this sort of clearing in the woods up in front of you, and it almost looks like there's a cobblestone path leading up to a cabin.
Well, if I was on foot, I believe I'd be going right there. So, and I'm just gonna tilt my hands down like Superman style. And this would have been like during like the George Reeves Superman era. So yeah, it's gonna start its descent that way.
So as you get closer, you're sort of inspecting this path, and you realize that they're not cobblestones. They're the gray, sallow, sunken skin of people's heads. They're lining up this path in a way that makes them look like cobblestones, but it is most definitely people. And when you touch down, you're sort of next to this path on the grass, and you're looking down, and you see that a lot of these heads, you can see that there are shoulders sort of sticking out just a little bit from the ground, and some of them have priestly collars, and others very wondrous adornment. And what would you like to do?
So yeah, I look down at these cobblestone heads and faces, and I'm gonna take a look at them. Like, are their eyes like kind of following me as I go through?
Oh, definitely.
All right. Do any of you speak?
Yes. You'll see one sort of close to you, and you would immediately notice the priestly collar around his neck, and he's very, very decomposed at this point.
Yes, you. Did two nuns happen to come by here recently?
Go into the cabin.
Thank you. Also, yikes. And he's gonna start to go that way. Walking now. Also, he's gonna try to walk on the grass as much as possible rather than on these faces.
You realize that at some point that becomes impossible, like unless you decide to hover through the air or something like that, like you would have to step on them in order to go up the steps into the cabin.
Well, I beg all of your pardons, and I will start to step on faces and noses and stuff.
You hear various cries of pain and anguish as you try your best to not step on as, many heads as possible, and then you make your way up these steps and you approach this door, and you can feel that there is a sort of warmth that's coming from inside, and you can see a light sort of peeking out from around the edges of this door and through the cracks in the wood.
Is the cabin also made of bodies?
No, it's just wood.
Okay, alright. Do I have my gun?
Would you like to have a gun?
Yes.
You absolutely have a gun. You think about it and it appears in your hand.
Oh, convenient. I press the little thing on it to remove the cylinder so I can look and see if it's loaded.
Absolutely.
Alright, I press it back in. Not really sure how to go about this. Is there like a little window in the door that I can look inside?
No, that's the really weird thing about this cabin is there's no windows on it whatsoever.
I'm going to knock.
When you knock, you rap on the door a few times and you back up a few steps and the door flies open.
Oh.
And you peer inside and there's just one room and a door off the exact opposite corner from where you're at, and there's a few chairs and a little kitchenette in the far right hand, and off to the left in the closest or in the left corner closest to you, you would see that there is this trap door that is chained shut.
Something's telling me that's where I need to go, although I don't know how the nuns would have gotten themselves down there and chained up afterward. However, when I start to make my way over that way, I still got the gun out and kind of holding it Bond henchman style, you know, kind of just like at the hip almost.
When you get into the cabin fully, the door slams shut behind you, and all of the candles flicker for just a second, but then everything returns to normal, and now we will return to Ronnie and Dr. Greenbank and Dart, and so you circle around a few times, and Alfred comes, and he looks concerned because he cannot find any trace of Elliot.
Is there any way to travel other than on foot or on the ground?
Maybe something snatched him up into the air like a great big bird.
Well, I suppose you're mostly just limited by your imagination and what you can trust could be real.
Ronnie takes a puff of his cigarette and then jumps when he realizes he's holding a cigarette.
It's kind of what I mean. You know, you'll do things that are muscle memory, and it'll happen. But it's a lot harder to sort of, well, control it the way that, you know, people want to.
Maybe he said he wanted to travel without leaving prints.
Maybe he was just trying to go really fast, and he thought not trudging through the snow would be faster.
What if he thought he was Superman?
Like flying?
Not out of the question here.
That's true.
Oh, you're serious?
Dorothy is gonna look. I'm gonna try something. Dorothy is gonna look straight ahead and say out loud, I would like to see a path to Elliot.
Why don't you roll me intelligence?
Pass.
You watch as these pine forests seem to shift and turn, and they create this sort of open path through the snow that's directly in front of you. Now I have to warn you that sometimes you might get what you want, but there might be a price. So
How do you know if there will be a price?
There's usually one.
So, can we just wish that we accomplish our goals? What's the price gonna be?
Well, I did just wish for a path to Elliot.
Yeah, but I think that you're not thinking specific enough. We're looking for nuns, right? We'll just have the nuns appear right before us.
That's not... I don't know anything about this place. That seems too specific. I feel like broad is the way to go here.
Do you want to try and concentrate on that, Ronnie?
No. I think that now that he said it, he's daydreaming about it, inevitably.
Why don't you roll me intelligence?
I matched.
That would be a pass. So, Dr. Greenbank, as you're saying that, everything shifts for a second, and you find yourself standing in this very Spartan cabin, and you see that Elliot is walking over to this cellar door that's chained up on the floor, and you would all immediately realize that you're there.
Elliot?
Oh. Oh, he startled me.
You startled us. Where did you go? Well, here, obviously, but how did you get here? Please don't tell me you flew.
As a matter of fact, Yes. This world has interesting mechanics.
What the hell is that? I point to the basement lid.
Oh, I believe that's where we're going.
I don't want to go down there. The last basement we went down was not good.
He does have a point. That's...
You know, I didn't have the pleasure of going down into that basement.
Well, it wasn't a pleasure, hon.
Nope.
The basement door immediately starts shaking violently as you're talking about this. Like, it's going up and down. You can sort of see there's a gap that's sort of coming up as the latch is loosening from the ground, and then it just stops.
Okay. We appeared here when I started daydreaming about the nuns. I'm gonna stop daydreaming about the basement back in the snow. Maybe just don't think about anything scary right now.
Dorothy would like a gun to appear in her hands.
It happens. Elliot, one of the things that you would remember that the Metatron told you, though, is that anything you conjure will be useless to actually defeat anything.
You know, on second thought, I'm not sure how much use these things will be. And in plain view of everybody, I take the cylinder out of the side again and dump it upside down and hit that little switch on it that like pushes the rounds out the bottom and empty it out, and then I just kind of throw it on the ground.
So you watch as all of those things sit on the floor for a short period of time, and then they sort of just meld in with the matter around it and eventually just kind of disappear.
Well, just as I don't believe those are going to be useful, I don't think we'll actually need a key to unlock that. I think it's already unlocked. And I look down at it.
Dorothy just drops the gun on the floor, and one hand reaches back towards Alfred.
He grabs onto your hand, and you both look down, and you realize that Elliot is correct. The door is unlocked. The padlock is completely open, and you could easily remove it from its latch.
Is it still shaking?
No, nothing appears to be going on right now. The only thing that you guys think that you hear is it sounds like somebody's whistling from down there, and I think you would all recognize the tune. It sounds like somebody's whistling The Old Grey Mare downstairs.
Well, and I kind of rub my hands together nervously. Let's take a look, shall we?
I am not picturing it to be some unseen horror.
Yeah, no time like the present.
Elliot, you creak open this door. It's heavy, and when it falls to the other side, it makes a loud thunk against the wood. And you begin to descend, and you can see that it's very dark down here, but there's a pull cord not far down the stairs.
I mean, it's just a basement. There's nothing to be afraid of down here. Why don't you all come on down with me, and I'm gonna pull the cord.
The light comes on, and it flickers for a second, and then you hear the same whistling, the old gray mare, and you hear this sort of scraping. It doesn't sound like something hard on something hard. It sounds like maybe a broom. And as you continue down the steps, they creak and moan under your weight. And you have to move aside a few cobwebs as you make your way down. And you notice a figure. And you can very clearly hear the whistling now. And you can see that the figure is not facing you, it's facing away towards the door on the other side of the room. Their shoulders are moving up and down as they sweep the floor, whistling.
Sister Mary?
When you say Sister Mary, immediately she snaps around, and you see this sort of sunken and sallow face that's staring at you, and there's flesh dripping off of it, and she says,
Such pretty skin! Give it to us!
No thank you. I'm surprised that's happened quite this quickly. Especially the way that you met your end.
You have come here. You will die here.
I don't believe you have any power over us. Just as we have no power over you. However, we have to find out how these Wendigos get their power. Or what they're doing.
Find the Queen's Dominion. There.
The Queen?
Ithaca. She rules. And her children, they have made it to the other side. But you, to destroy them, must destroy their tethers!
Their tethers? Their bodies?
Their souls.
Where can we find these tethers?
You must go to where the winter is eternal. Find the Queen's lair. Search for her pond. Drown them. Drown them all. Only then will they be able to pass on into nothing.
How will we know when we found the tethers?
You will know. You will know. Their torture will be apparent, but they will not want to die. No, they will not go quietly into that good night. So you must take them.
Is this place in a physical realm? Will our belongings actually do damage? Or is it a place like here?
You must grab them with your hands Do the deed as Cain once did.
Okay.
Remember, Elliot, you must drown the infant.
Okay. I guess, thank you, and, sorry for the last, interaction we had. For all that matters.
Are you sure you don't want to give us your skin? It's so pretty.
I'm afraid I'm using it at the moment. After I'm done with it, though, I'll give you first dibs. I wink at her.
She winks back and her eyeball falls out.
Oh my god!
Does she, like, the one that she winks, like, give pressure to the other one and the other one is what falls out?
Yeah, yep. Absolutely.
That's the slapstick I'm here for.
Ma'am, I think you dropped something. Did you?
She, like, chases it across the floor a little bit, like, grabs it, dusts it off a little bit, and then licks a small portion and, just pokes it right back in.
I, turn around. Is it just Greenbank that's down there with me, or is everybody?
It seems like it's just Greenbank.
Yep. This is supernatural shit. She's not missing this.
Yeah.
I did not go down that stupid trapdoor.
I'm keeping an eye on Ronnie to make sure he doesn't run away.
Well, you heard the lady. Are we in this together, or am I going this one alone?
Do you feel confident on your own?
Not entirely.
Then I'll go with you.
Elliot, make me a sanity check. Actually, everybody, go ahead and make me a sanity check.
Oh, finally, it's our turn.
Oh, okay.
All right.
That is a pass.
Hard fail.
Oh, that's a natural 20.
I actually passed that. Yeah, I got a 2, and I had to make a below a 5.
Elliot, you start to come to. Dr. Greenbank, you're going to take 7 points of sanity damage. Yeah.
Let me get my pencil.
Ronnie, you also will take 7. Everybody else, you can take none.
Take none.
Well,
That was only funny because you went,
well,
This is so bad.
at what point do we hit insanity?
Usually, I mean, where are you at right now? What are we talking about?
5.
Yeah, you're probably starting to lose it a little bit for sure. This is definitely gonna affect your decision making.
What were the rules that made me lose 1 less last time? It was like you lose 5, and then Eric chimed in. You only lose 4.
Oh, because you rolled a nat 1 or a nat 20, so you got an extra luck point.
Oh,
So you got 1 extra.
Oh, so Dr. Greenbank, you actually only lost 6 in total because you gained a luck point by rolling a nat 20. But I mean, like, you're still not doing well. Like, your sanity it's probably a little bit broken.
As for me, I did not roll a nat 20. I am sitting at 4 sanity points.
Roddy, I think your sanity is also getting close to broken. Dr. Greenbank, I think the thing that would have gotten to you is you would have realized that when you were in the last basement, you did see that there was the umbilical corpse that had cocooned opened as well. And so when this thing said that Elliot would have to drown the infant, that broke you. So yeah, you make your way out into the center of this cabin. What would you guys like to do? You can continue your conversation, whatever.
Well, since I have my saneness back, I'm gonna use it to fuck with Ronnie when we're going back up the stairs, and
Oh my god,
I'm just
you
going
dick!
I'm going to reach up like through the floorboards, since I know how to control this world a little bit, and just reach up and grab his ankle.
Dark, get him off of me!
Don't worry, it's just me. Which that might still worry him at this point.
Can we see, like, your face?
Well, after the hand comes up, I come up the rest of the way.
There's a gun in my hand and I'm shooting.
Okay.
I am unloading on whatever's grabbing my leg right now.
So, Elliot, you feel like this weird sensation as, like, there's definitely a force that hits you, but it doesn't hurt, per se. And, Ronnie, you're blasting the floor, and there's shrapnel shooting up everywhere, and eventually your gun is just clicking as you're continuing to pull the trigger, and...
The only thing that Ronnie could picture was a Colt 45 from, like, the old cowboy days, so it only has, like, 6 or 7 shots.
Yeah, for sure. But then eventually Elliot and Dr. Greenbank would appear back in the cabin.
Dorothy is cracking the fuck up. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, at least one of us is a medical doctor.
Good God almighty, San Antonio, Texas! What the hell happened down there?
Yeah, I was just about to ask that.
Oh my
Elliot,
Yes.
would you mind filling us in? And also, I slap him. Why are you trying to freak out Ronnie when he's been, losing his shit for the past 4 days?
Well, you see, I got a brief moment of clarity after this past little while.
Well, thank the Lord for that, then. Why is Greenbank laughing?
Oh, well, I think she was just one step behind me earlier, and she's now arrived where I was. And I seem to, for the moment, come all the way through. She'll get here too. So will you both. We still have more to do, but I at least, for now, have a bit of clarity.
Oh my gosh. It's them. It's them. We're gonna have to kill them.
Ronnie passes out.
We're gonna have to kill... What the... We're gonna have to kill who now?
The corpses. The corpses in the last basement. It's them.
Oh, okay. I think I get it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna imagine some smelling salts in a fan, and put them up to him, start fanning him off.
His face is so pale. And then he goes, Jesus.
Yeah, come back, buddy boy.
Huh? Who are you?
Oh, you know how I am.
Oh. Frosty.
Yeah. We got more stuff to do, and it's not gonna get any better.
I just want to go home. I'm not ready to be brave anymore.
Come on, toughen up. And I kind of pat him on the shoulder a little bit. We've been through a lot already. We can get through the rest.
I'm so tired. I want to go back to my bar.
Yeah, I'd like to go back to my family as well, but I don't know if it's even going to be any better. It's absolutely not going to be how it ever was. But if we don't finish this, those things, they keep on killing, keep on destroying everything in that town. Maybe they go even further. We're the ones in that poem. We have to put a stop to this.
Why's it gotta be us? No, nobody special. I just run a bar. That's all I ever wanted to do was run a bar.
I never asked to be a hero.
I think the true heroes never do ask for it. Anyone that does is normally a charlatan.
I wish I was a charlatan.
Come on, let's get you back up. I'm gonna pull him back up on his feet. How are you doing, Dart?
Well, knowing what we have to do, not so great, but I kind of look to Dr. Greenbank and Durrani. All things considered, I've been worse. Do you know where we have to go? Because I think the sooner that we get this over with, the better.
Well, the nun mentioned a place of eternal winter.
Well, there's a lot of snow where we are right now, but I do know of a place where it's always snowing. You think maybe you all could give me a moment with my wife? I think this place has gotten to her.
Yes, absolutely. Take your time.
Hey, Dot, why don't you come with me outside, eh?
Okay, she will. And she's just going, it's them. It's them. It's the girls. The girls and their baby. She's moved from, like, laughing to half crying.
He's gonna bring you around to the side, and you'll notice that everything kind of grows and extends, and this porch swing appears. And he leads you down by the hands, and he sits down next to you, and he starts rocking it slowly, and he waits some very pensive moments, and he says, you know, there was a time that I didn't think you were ever gonna come, Dot, and that I made the wrong choice. But you're so damn stubborn and strong that you made your way here anyway. And you need to snap out of it, because your friends need you so much more than you realize. Because I don't know that I can make it all the way through the, well, I don't think I can make it through the storm, Dot. And so you gotta lead them. Look at me, look into my eyes, Dot. You gotta be the one. Okay? Because he may not look it right now, but when the time comes, Ronnie's gonna save you all. You gotta get him there, though, Dot. You understand me? You gotta snap out of it, and you gotta get him there.
There's nothing I can do but help them get there, is there?
No.
I didn't have time to teach them anything about Wendigos or Ithaca while we were on the other side.
It's not gonna matter. you can get him there, you'll end this.
Okay.
I'm gonna miss you forever. You know that, right?
Yes, but... Hang on. You're gonna stay with us for as long as you can, aren't you? Or are you leaving now?
No, I'm gonna stay with you, but, well, there ain't gonna be a time for a goodbye when it comes.
She just throws her arms around his neck.
He'll hold you there.
Our last goodbye came too quick.
No,
I'm just glad we got a second one.
me too. Come on. We gotta get going.
Yeah.
While they're having that conversation, I'm gonna pull Elliot aside. Hey, Elliot, while you got your wits about you, quick thing I wanted to ask you about, do you find it weird at all that we came to this place after dying and just immediately ran into Dr. G there?
Well, hasn't quite been the strangest thing that we've encountered in the last few days. But it is on the list.
Yeah, I mean, I know right now he's been helpful, but, I'm sort of the opinion that we trust anything from this area about as far as we can throw them. And the four of us, I think, gotta stick together. Yeah?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
The thing that comes to mind is, well, for one, everything in this place is real as the faith we put in it, which explains why if we feel that we can fly. If we think that there is a weapon in our hand, it is. Even the smokes you hold in your pocket right there, they're as real as you believe them to be. I think the same goes with finding Alfred here.
You're thinking Dorothy thought that she'd find her husband, and so we did?
Well, I think that we all had here what we needed to have here to get to the end.
All right. Well, right now I got a suit, a pack of smokes, and the three of you. So I'm hoping that the three of you are all that I need right now, okay?
Likewise. And hey, let's say that things that were here are meant to throw a roadblock in our way. What other choice do we have? We have nothing else to go on.
Nothing else to go on indeed, my friend.
I think at that, both of the doctors return, and I think your Dr. Greenbank looks much more lucid this time around when she walks in.
You doing okay there now, Mrs. Greenbank?
Dr. Greenbank. And yes.
Yeah, she's doing better. Okay.
Dr. Greenbank, I just... how to word this delicately enough, it was a wild feeling, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I kind of smirk as I say it.
Yeah.
Unsure of how better to.
It's a little bit, freeing almost.
Yes. You know, the weirdest thing about falling under that, suggestion was, it's still, even looking back on it, seems like the right thing to me. It was the logical thing to go for under those circumstances. I mean, it was brash. It was, if souls exist, I'm sure to be damned for it, but to do what we need to do, it seems like it all had to happen that way.
I think we've all got to be a little insane to do what we've done. Personally.
Anyway, I guess, hopefully no hard feelings.
No, none here. I wish you'd done it. I wish you'd done it differently, but I understand. I wish I hadn't had to steal your car keys. Or technically kidnap your son, but...
Yeah. Well, they weren't my car keys to begin with.
As you're both talking to each other, you kind of notice that the cabin around you is different. And everything seems to have changed. It reminds you almost of like a New York police precinct that you've seen on the few cop dramas that are on TV, and it feels that way. And you look and you can see that there are these cells with lockups, and you see that Ronnie is rocking in the corner of one of them as you're both sort of just standing there having this conversation. And Dart, you would also notice that everything around you has changed, and Ronnie, you are freaking out because you are in jail. Like, you've been pinched. Everything went wrong with the deal. Like, you were supposed to just give them the money, you were going to get the product, and you were going to be able to make off scot-free. And it turned out that one of them was a cop. They were a snitch, and now you're in lockup. And what are you going to do? Like, you're looking at the rest of your life in jail. What are you going to do, Ronnie?
As soon as Greenbank shows her face, I'm going to charge towards the bars and fall down on my knees and just start bawling.
Ronnie!
I didn't mean it. I'm so sorry. You can't tell Pops.
Tell who? I don't know who Pops is.
I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't mean for it to end up this way. I wanted to make you so proud of me.
Dorothy wants to think that she can open this. That she can open the cell.
You look down and you're wearing a police officer's uniform, and you have a ring of keys on your belt.
She unlocks it.
Okay, and so Ronnie, you would see a police officer approaching you into the cell.
I am scrambling backwards.
Ronnie, it's me.
I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
Ronnie, it's Dr. Greenbank.
Huh?
It's Dr. Dorothy. I mean, I know I'm wearing a police uniform, but...
What? Don't kill me.
I'm not gonna kill you. She's gonna get down on her knees.
Oh God.
Ronnie, I think that you would begin to recognize that this is someone that you know, and even though they're wearing that uniform, it maybe is a little bit more soothing than they were before.
Oh, God. You gotta get me out of here.
Ronnie, it's Dr. Greenbank.
We need a plan. We gotta get a plan.
We have a
Get
plan.
me one of these. I can get dressed up like you. We can walk out of here together. You and me.
We're not actually in a police precinct. Okay?
You gotta keep it together.
I have it more together than you right now, which is honestly kind of debatable considering what both of us just saw. You're with me.
Yeah.
You're with Frosty. You're with Elliot.
Frosty!
Yeah, and we're with Dart. And we're with Alfred. And we're in the dream realm.
It's all a dream.
Yeah.
Roll intelligence for me right now, Ronnie.
Oh, I passed.
Oh, thank God.
By 1. Greenbank!
Yeah.
We're in the dream world.
Yes, we are.
Frosty!
Yeah.
I think at that moment everything would start to melt back into the cabin.
Frosty. You just came out of the trap door.
Yep, I did.
You grabbed my leg!
Gotcha.
The Devil's Antlers is a production by the Time to Die Podcast Network. Our links, our credits, and other shows are all available at timetodiерpg.com. If you like this ukulele music, visit charlottepelgin.com, where you can get her entire original album. She also has many old-timey covers available on her YouTube channel. Our cast was Tim Demuse, Chris Riley, Aubrey Gray, Eric Patt, and I'm Brian Bridges. You can find our character roles and social media links in the description of this episode. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode of The Devil's Antlers.
And me and a Russian lullaby. Da 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 da, and a Russian lullaby.
Every once in a while, I am a fan of saying accoutrement, and
I know
don't-
you are.
I don't know why. Like,
You do it quite often.
I know.
I say accoutrement way too much.
It's definitely been said at least 5 times in our entire podcast, and it is not a common enough word that I should be bringing it up 5 fucking times.
It's not just you. I think it's GMs in general. I've heard it from other GMs.
Alternatively, it's a good enough word that you should use it more.
I like people that say accoutrements.
Accoutrements?
I've definitely heard that.
Charcutrements.
Looks like cooter.
All right, on that note, let's fucking...
Cooter!
Let's make sure that Brian
live.
isn't talking anymore.
Daddy cooter.
No.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
no.
die now instead.
Brian's next character is like, instead of a cat centaur, it's a cat mermaid.
Oh my god.
Cooter.
Bold of you to assume he'll have a next character.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking we should just replace Brian and just only let him edit. Like, when he comes up with another arc, he can GM it, I guess. Like, that's fine, but we'll see how many cringe characters show up first.
Once you kill off the first third of my characters, the rest will be fine. Leftovers.
We didn't kill any of your characters. We just broke their hands and their spirit.
And made them shit their pants. One you cared for. the Metatron. He apparently wants you back. Wasn't that what we were supposed to be doing, is getting them?
No.
No? What were we supposed to do?
No.
This is where it sucks that, like, we don't get to play back-to-back sometimes.
If you recall, Dart was told that if he needed proof that what happened to the nuns was okay, was to seek out the nuns when you went to where you're going.
Oh!
And then another thing that I think would probably occur to you is that Alfred had mentioned that sometimes when you do something so horrible, your soul is lost immediately.
Just let Elliot bring them back. I've done your bidding, sir. What the fuck?
I'm sorry, son, you got it wrong.
Yeah, so now I'm, like, super confused. Like, I was told to find the nuns, but...
They had
can I
something
roll
for
for
you.
some sort of, like, wisdom or something like that, or intelligence to see if he would remember exactly what he was told to do?
You only need information from them.
Oh, okay. And what would that information be?
How to accomplish your goal, where you're going, any number of things. Honestly, I'm sorry that I even did this. I should have just let you fucking roll with taking them back.
Okay. It would have been fine if I was, like, still, like, on the road all the time and could think about the game, like, all the time while I'm driving, but I've had no time to think about any of this kind of stuff, like, lately.
Is everybody else this confused? Did I do a bad job?
No.
If I'm confused, I always blame myself because I'm me and I don't listen.
I have been following it.
Yeah, I've been following.
The
All right,
quietest
cool.
one in the group has been following it. Good.
Eric is the Mendoza line.
Brian only knows the Mendoza line because I mentioned it in a fucking podcast once.
And that's the only thing he's remembered from anything said in a podcast. That
Dude, I'm gonna have no idea when to end this because we have had a lot of fucking stop and restarts in this one.
That's right.
okay,
End
so
it when it feels right.
Fucking fair.